People are always asking me where I get the metal for my bezel setting punches, and I have a lot of tool steel around because I make my own tools. It doesn't have to be tool steel. Tool steel is hardenable, and because we usually use these punches for hammer setting bezels, which are fine silver or sterling silver, the silver is a lot softer than the metal, so it doesn't have to be hardened. So go to your hardware store, get a 1/4 inch by 4 inch bolt. It can be a carriage bolt, as long as it's not a hardened bolt. You can just ask the people in the hardware store for a steel bolt. Now, the way you check it is pass your file over it, and if your file files the material, it's soft enough that you can just cut it with either your jeweler or with a hacksaw. So you can just clamp this in the vise, saw this end off, and then you can form it. So I'll just show you. You could cut this with your jeweler's saw. It's just that it takes a lot longer with the jeweler's saw. So this is just a regular old hacksaw. First step. Now I'm just going to take my number 2 cut, Swiss number 2 cut file, and I'm going to smooth the top off. So you can see it's cutting it quite easily. And rather than file this into a taper, what I'm going to do is just hammer it on the anvil. So this is just a big hammer, rough hammer, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to hammer the end. So you can see I've hammered into just a bit of an oval. Don't use one of your shiny hammers for this. Use a ratty old ball peen. You could even use a carpenter's hammer if you wanted. So now this is slightly distorted on the end. So I'm just going to take the same number 2 cut flat hand file, and you can see how I've got that smooth. Now I'm just going to continue . Now I've put a slight curve in this one. You could make it flat if you want, but I like a slight curve because that way I'm not hitting the edge of the piece and putting ugly marks in it. So now we're just going to take our 400 grade wet or dry paper, go over the piece, edges, the face, and we want this nice and shiny because every time we hit our material with it, it's going to leave a mark. And what we want is a nice shiny face, so it doesn't leave any ugly marks, it'll leave pretty marks. And now we're just going to polish this up on Tripoli, and that's it. A nice little setting punch. You can leave the threads on if you want, it's no biggie, and they actually feel okay, and they help you hold it. A non-hardened bolt at your hardware store. That's it.